Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. I just woke up. It's only 10:30 a.m., which is probably the latest I've woken up in a long, long time. Uh, all I can say is my wife is a very wonderful woman. So, today we're playing Kerbal Space Program, as we can see by Werner von Kerman there. And yeah, we're going to continue with the Back in the Saddle Tarantola Returns game that I'm playing, and yeah, just see. Honestly, I don't have any huge big plans. It's a completely stock game, and I am waiting for the new DLC to hit. I'll buy that when that comes out in the next couple days. Uh-oh, I had this last time. Nah, I wonder what's going on with that. In any case, ooh, that is my Discord. Okay, so bracing for impact. Yeah, I think I'd look like that if I was just hanging out above a planet like that, just randomly. Uh-oh. What's going on with my KSP? Why are we? What kind of problems are we having? We're gonna have to maybe actually look at this. It's a stock game. It shouldn't be running into any problem. Okay. Come on, KSP. You could do this. I don't know. We'll wait for the program to respond. Sometimes it takes some time, but it's stock. There's no. There's. I mean, that being said, when I tried to install it originally, um, it tried to pick up the mods that I had installed way back a year ago. So I wonder what's going on with that. Hmm. Problems. We have problems. Okay. So exit. I'm gonna restart it. See if something's going on with my computer. I just did an update last night. I wonder if the update is the problem. Alright, so I want to go to Kerbal Space Program. Alright, so it should be okay. Yeah, Not what I'm looking for. Okay. So I think what's going to happen is I'm going to stop this stream. I'm going to restart my computer and see if that's going to solve my problem. So I'll be back when I can. As my mouse runs out of battery. Nice. All right. I think we're live. Yeah. Okay. Great. There we go. Okay, so looks like we're doing good. Okay, so let's go back to KSP. Here we go. All right. Yeah, just needed to restart it. Okay, science. Science. Got 162, so we'll probably be able to do just one. I don't think we have that. We might be able to get that one too, though. Okay, so heavy rocketry. I think we're missing these bigger engines. So I think I'm going to go ahead and go for those. Ooh, and having those really small ones would be nice for probes, but alas, I don't have the money, the science points for it. Let's see here. I think these are necessary, but that tail fin would be useful. Having more control authority with the tail fin, so I'll go ahead and do it, and we'll eventually want to get all this stuff anyway. So, all right, so there's that. Let's see, mission control: explore the moon. Excuse me, guys. Okay, it would be somewhat disconcerting if our missions to the moon were one-way trips. Bring one back to the moon. What? Return to Kerbin from a flyby of the moon. Okay. Yeah, we can do that. Science data from the space around Kerbin. We can do that for sure. Oh, rescue missions. Oh boy. Okay. I'm not going to do that quite right now. Oh, position satellite in a specific orbit of the moon. It's pretty good, actually. Alright. So 233 kilometers by 209 kilometers and 2.6 degrees of inclination around the moon. A new unmanned probe that has an antenna and can generate power. Reach the designated orbit. Have a thermometer on the satellite. Maintain stability for 10 seconds. Yeah. I like that. I think we proved last mission that we will be more than capable of doing that. So, all right. Position satellite in a specific orbit of the moon. Have a thermometer and a mystery goo. Maintain stability for 10 seconds. Reach the designated orbit. Build a new unmanned probe. All right. Ooh. Yeah, this was going to be harder, but we can probably use the same probe for both missions. If we give it enough delta V. Hey Harley, what's up, buddy? Welcome. Good to see you, or at least see your icon. All right, yeah. So we're back into KSP here. I'm just gonna be playing for a little while. It probably won't be like an hours upon hours upon hours. I don't know. All right. Very interesting. We're worried about that. Yeah. Okay. I'm done. All right. So let's go into the VAB. Oh yeah, slept in late. Oh, it was so nice. It was. I did absolutely nothing. It was everything I could ever hope it to be. It was nice. I still kind of feel like I got puffy eyes and stuff. I didn't. This is the laziest morning I've had in probably in months upon months upon months, if not years. Okay, so we're going to start off with the probidobidine. OKTO. Alright. And we want to give it some control, command and control. Yeah. We want to give it some power. We want to give it some power generation. Gorgeous. Okay. And we need to give it some communication here. I think for the moon, this is all we really need, honestly. No. I think we'll just use this one. And then, let's see here. We still only have that one little service bay there. Can't wait to get fairings. When we get fairings, it'll be nice. Okay. So I believe we need to have mystery goo for one of them and a thermometer for both of them. The contract's up. Mystery goo unit. Okay, so we need a mystery goo unit. Gorgeous. Yes. Okay. And thermometer. Put that on this side. And we'll just put one. You woke up early to work on your dad. To work at does your dad own like a store or something? Did you not do mystery goo yesterday? I did do mystery goo. The reason I'm doing mystery goo is because the satellite demands it. It is part of the contract that I have. So we're going to do much of the same mission that we did yesterday, but now we have a couple more engines to do it with, so it might be a little bit more efficient to get up there. And we're going to get a bunch of money for it. I gotcha. Well, at least that's over now, right? So you got your homework done. You got your work done with your father. Awesome. Now you can hang out and we can do some KSB together. All right. So we got that science. That's all we need on it. And let's see. Go to utility. We don't need a parachute. I mean, I guess what we could do is we could ultimately put some more science on it, and after we do the two satellite contracts, then we bring this back to Kerbin and land it, and then we could A, get more science out of these things, and B, we can get that third contract, which is just return from the moon, return to Kerbin from a flyby of the moon. So yeah, so we want to make sure that we have some good delta V. I'm thinking like 4K delta V overall. So maybe we would put the science. I forget how this storage unit works. I forget if we can do that with the probe or if you need like a scientist to move it up there. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna just leave that off for now. I think I can figure out how to give the whole thing there. Okay, so let's go to thermal. I'm gonna need a heat shield. Is that a big enough heat shield? I don't think it is. I'm gonna do a bigger heat shield here. And I'm gonna put it on top. And the reason I'm gonna put it on top is so it'll be technically more aerodynamic when it's launching. And it kind of makes it look like, again, it looks like it has a little face there, which I think I like. Okay. And let's see, ground, don't need any of that. Yeah, we'll worry about that later. Alright, so we'll want a decoupler. Is that the smallest one we got? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. It's the smallest one we got. Oh, we need parachutes. Parachutes. Alright. Nice looking little probe. I don't like that it floats in the air, but there's not much I can do about it, so I'm gonna ignore that. Pretend like it's not there. Okay, got that. Got the electrical, got the thermal, got that, got it. Alright. Okay, got the command and control. So now it's down to this. Okay, so we've got engines. Which engine do we want to use? So we used the Terrier last time. That's 345. That's pretty efficient. We now have the Skipper, and that one has an ISP of only 320. So the Poodle is still going to be the way to go on this. So we're going to use probably this one here, I'd imagine. Let's take a look at what we got here. So 40.41 TWR, which is fine, but we get 655 meters per second of delta V there. Okay. I wonder if there's a way to instead of doing these, because those are, well, they're honestly they're the same. If I could just do one. That might work. Okay, we'll do it that way. Make it just a little bit lighter. If you can notice, it did give me just a little bit more, just a tinge more delta V. Okay, now we want to put another coupler on there. And going to go for bigger. Move this up. Wonder if we just want to go straight to the big stuff. Do something like this. it's not big enough. Maybe it's this one. Maybe we gotta do it in 2 stages like this. I see. Makes some sense. And then we can put the skipper on there. Look at that. 3,400 delta V. Wow. Wow. Okay. So that'll get us pretty much anywhere we want to go. I don't know how much control authority we have with all that mass, though. So that's one option. But let's take a look at the other option here, which was this one. I should have paid more attention to what it would have been. Alright, and we'll go back with the Terrier, or do we go with one of these swivel? I think the swivel. We'll need that control authority. And so that would be 2,000. I think is more than enough, and I think it'll be much more wieldy. Right? And then we can do this. That, and instead of using that, we can use a main cell. You know what? This is probably what I was planning on using. Anyway, let's take a look at this. That's even more, right? No. No. Okay, wait a minute. Poodle is 350 in a vacuum, so it is supposedly really efficient. I'm confused. But then if I had skipper on there, it's way more delta V. It's almost 35 delta V. This is only, is it because it's in atmosphere? Oh, see, that makes a huge difference. Oh, geez. Okay. So in a vacuum, it makes a huge difference. Okay. So I can almost actually eliminate that stage in lieu of this stage. Yeah. In fact, I can almost just take that part off. And then use this decoupler. Nope, this one. Apparently. Let's look at this for a second though. Okay, and now we'll go and so that's our vacuum stage. You need to get that stage to orbit, and so this will go back to sea level 4, but we'll figure out. Okay, so we ought to be just using that sucker, right? Is that the biggest one we got? It is. Something like that. And what's the Bobcat? Has more than enough thrust to jump as high as the sky, so we We gave you 2. Okay. So this is something different. Thank you for that reminder, Harley. Reminding at the fins, yes, definitely. That's a pretty powerful one. This one's better though. So why would I use the Bobcat over the Skipper? Good morning, XO Hunter. What's going on, buddy? Oh, that's the wife. Let me talk to her. Okay, lunch order put in. Haha, getting some Chipotle. Sorry about that, guys. Appreciate y'all hanging in there with me. So, yeah, okay, I gotta figure out Bobcat or Skipper. Because Bobcat is new. I don't remember seeing a Bobcat before. What is it good for? Looks like it's got a good vacuum. 310, 320. It's more efficient in atmosphere, but it doesn't have as much thrust. It's like a medium thrust. I don't know. Skipper seems like it's the better choice to me, and yeah, it seems like it is also going to have plenty of things. So the other thing we got to look at, okay, does it have enough thrust to weight? It does not. So we got to get this above 1. Just a little bit ambitious there. So that's above 1. That's good. And then we can do asparagus staging for the rest. Okay. So, onto our asparagus staging. Okay, so there's that. And then we can use... I wonder if we just need... I wonder what's going to have the best thrust to weight ratio. Does it show TDW? Doesn't really. So there's that. It's either going to be the Reliant or the Swivel, or I guess I could just go for the stupid kickbacks, man. These things, they'll always work, yeah. I'm getting dinner and you're getting lunch. I completely forgot about the 6-hour time difference. Yeah, it's only 11 o'clock a.m. here, so lunch. It's just about lunchtime. Okay, you might see me shoveling some food in my mouth before this stream is over. Okay, so these guys, they get 1.21 gigawatts. No, not gigawatts. Thrust to weight ratio. That's perfect. Couldn't ask for better, so I don't need to throttle them or anything. I do want to put nose cones on them. I think that would be good. Okay, good. And we do want to, I think, do a rigid attachment here. Rigid attachment. I think we also want that here. Okay. Cool deal. Now, fin thingies, as Harley very technically put. Alright. So, Exo Hunter, what do you think about all the drama that was going on Discoverer last night? It was quite the ordeal, much more so than I thought it would be. Okay, cool. I think that ship looks good. I'm going to check our staging. Alright, so these two and that one at the same time, essentially. You get this one and that one at the same time, essentially. And that one, and that'll go later. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So I think that's all good. Alright, we're going to call this Sat Mission Destroy. Very, very well thought through name. Okay. Save that. Launch it. So, yeah, it was interesting to read through. To me, it makes sense to have a common government space. That's what I was doing near the cargo terminal. Yeah, man, I mean, if people have that big of a problem, excuse me, that big of a problem with it, I guess we don't have to, but I'll tell you, I think it makes sense for us. Why is it all janky? It's all sideways and janky. It's really strange to me. Okay, let's do this, let's do that. I like that I can have most of what I'm looking for in all stock. I don't have engineer redo or any mods on this sucker. And this new computer that I got, I say new computer, the computer's probably like a year old, a year and a half old. But it really does a good job of rendering KSP compared to what I had before that. So we're at 3,000, or 3 kilometers there. Let's see here. Apoapsis is at about 9. So I like to be about 20 there. I like to be about 10 there, and I'm already getting towards 10. All right. Now we're climbing. So we need to start doing our roll, I think, a little bit more aggressively. Yeah. You know, I think I'm gonna talk with government as a voice within government to see about what we can do about that. I think things could be done better and in a way that everybody is happier about how things are going. Yeah, Harley, so we're talking about Zardis's hold on, I gotta focus on my gravity turn, guys. Scott, can you explain to Harley what's going on? Uh-oh. I was trying to add a moderator. Sorry. Okay. I think you're absolutely got the right idea, XO. Absolutely. Man, these new fins are just amazing. Puts it right where you want it. Jet fins for the win. Alright, it's looking good. Okay. Love it. Okay, so gotta add a maneuver here. We want that to go to our periapsis is also about 80. See, when it starts to go and switch directions, that's when you know you've hit it right. So right about there. Okay. Yeah, we still got a decent amount of delta V here. More than enough to make it to orbit with this one stage alone. So I think we have been pretty successful in our endeavors here so far. Just got to be patient. It's got the start burn. I love it. So start burn in 3 minutes. Let's speed that up just a bit, shall we? That's looking a little janky. Maybe turn that off. Okay. So now we can move to our maneuver. We still got a few minutes before, a minute and a half before our maneuver starts. Okay, I'm gonna F5 this, save it. City Skylines, yes. Well, the fins are moving, but we're in space now, so they're cutting into nothing, so they're not actually helping. But they still respond to my inputs. So what's going on is I have 2 reaction wheels up here, and those are really what's maneuvering the vehicle at this point up in space once you're out of the atmosphere. But they were very helpful on the ascent. They did a much better job than the previous fins that I had, so they were worth the 45 points I spent on them. So not thrusters, reaction wheels. I don't have any thrusters on this ship. They do have thrusters in the game, but I haven't unlocked those yet. So reaction wheel is basically like a gyroscope, and it uses torque. So if I spin a wheel this way, it's going to spin a spaceship that way. And so that's basically, it's using that to turn the ship. They're a bit unrealistic in this game. It's kind of really difficult to get it to be realistic, I imagine, coding. But, yeah. Okay, 4, 3, 2, 1, burn. Oh. And I'm going to go a little bit further, and good. Okay. Okay, F5 that. That was a good burn, successful burn. We can X out of that maneuver. And now we want to try and make it to the moon here. So we're going to wait till our orbit is appropriate. And about right here. And let's see. I'm thinking right about there. Add maneuver. And then just, there you go. Get a capture there. Now, let's focus view over here. Okay, so those are our, we have to hit both of those. Now, this one is going in this direction. That one is going in that direction, so we're going to use a lot of delta V. Okay, so let us go back to the maneuver node here and see which one we'll hit first. Oh yes, this is what I want. Okay. It's really fun using these new tools that we have here. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get a good intersect right at the periapsis. We want that periapsis to be the intercept. Ooh, that's sensitive. Oh, okay. Okay, I think that's pretty darn good. It's pretty darn good, okay. I wonder if we need to go normal or anti-normal at all. I don't think that's going to help. Okay, I'm going to call that good, so I'm going to save that. Let's go ahead and move to our maneuver node. There's the moon now. Let's go ahead and move to point in the direction we need to point. Now it's 857, so we're going to expend this stage, and then we will go to our final stage there. Oh, well, yeah, I mean, I've played this quite extensively. It has been about 10 months since I've done some of the things I'm doing right now, but it's a bit like riding a bicycle. I remember most of it. I am learning some new things in that they've added all this new stuff, so I'm learning the new interfaces, but I have a really good grasp of the orbital mechanics, and that's in no small part thanks to Scott Manley and this game in general. So it depends on what you're trying to do. So I'm losing altitude because I'm heading towards my periapsis. So if you look here, you have an apoapsis, which is the highest point of your orbit, and you have a periapsis, which is the lowest point of your orbit. So you'll also hear when if we're listening to here, let me no. Hold on a second. It's not cooperating. Anyway, so basically, if you're talking about like a lunar orbit, you'll hear them say perilune and apolune, and that's basically talking about around the moon. Now, not this moon, but the actual lunar surface around Earth. And then you'll see when it's the sun or other, or like Jupiter, it's perigove and apogove. So you'll hear that a lot with like the Juno spacecraft. They're taking all of their science during perigove because it's when it's closest to Jupiter, and they do a nice elongated orbit out, and that's to minimize the amount of time that the spacecraft is in the radiation belts of Jupiter, which are really strong, about the strongest in the solar system. So let's look at our time here. We still got 12 minutes, right? So I can fast forward this though. Cut that time down quite a bit. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So it's not a good or bad thing. All right, burn. Let's get on target. Let's see how we're doing. Burn here. Oh, need a stage. That was a cool staging shot. Alright, and our apoapsis kind of come out until it intersects the orbit of the moon. We're burning at the periapsis to increase our apoapsis. Okay. So, let's... Alright. And so we're good. It's about as good as we're going to get it, at least. We can fine-tune it. Probably right about here. We'll add a small maneuver there where we can fine-tune it. So let's see. All right, Scott. Well, thanks for joining me for the little bit that you did. I really appreciate it. And I'm sure we will see each other later on the interwebs. The interwebs. So it seems like it needs to... No, it needs to go this way, I guess. Alright, bro. So, that's just going to be a really small little thing. A small little maneuver here. So I'm going to go ahead and point in the direction of my maneuver. I'm going to start my warp. Alright, and so, here's my ship here. And we want to wait till it gets to here. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to have it warp here. And here we fly through space, getting closer and closer to the moon. Alright, time warp complete. Now we'll go ahead and go back into a time warp. We still got 33 minutes to kill. And we have crossed into the... We've escaped the gravitational influence of the sun. Oh, have we? Maybe we have another... Oh, we have this one. I guess it's come back in to the sphere of influence of carbon. Have you sent a permanent satellite to orbit Earth and do science? I haven't. Not yet. I sent that probe that you saw from the last thing, and then this is the first thing I've done since then. You really haven't missed anything. You missed maybe about 5 minutes of me getting science and contracts. That's about all you missed. Well, not quite, but I do follow them closely, and yeah. So, okay, we need to pay attention. 12. We got 12 minutes before our burn, so we're going to speed up a little bit just to get to that a little bit faster. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We slow down the warp so we don't go right past it. 30 seconds. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Burn. So now at periapsis here, add maneuver. Can we... Interesting, okay. So, the periapsis here, we're going to want to scale back. There we go. Till we meet the orbit here. We need to change our inclination just a bit. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to match this purple orbit. Oh, okay. Oh, come on. Bingo. And see, I want my apoapse and periapse to match the apoapse and periapse of the orbit as well. Best I can. And you just got to get it close in this game. So that's, honestly, if I make what I got right now, it'll be close enough. Okay. I think that's as good as I can get it from that spot. And I'm going to go ahead and go to our maneuver node. So we're already facing the right direction. And it's just 1 hour to that burn. Okay, so I go into my warp. No, almost, nah, not even almost, honestly. Playing a game and running an administration that has to navigate the political and scientific and, you know, Bridenstine, who's the director of NASA right now, he's doing a fantastic job of doing it. And I could never do the job that he's doing. I could never be that political. I would tell people they're stupid when they're being stupid, and that's not what you're supposed to do in politics, I guess. So. Alright, here we come. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Okay, let's slow her down. You can go back up to 50. Okay, 30 seconds. 15 seconds to burn. Let's fine-tune our attitude, which means which direction we're pointing. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. 4, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And cut off. Let's point in the direction of this. Okay, let's see. Have a thermometer. Maintain stability for 10 seconds. I've reached the designated orbit, so that contract is now complete. Good on us. We got $100,000. Or space bucks, or whatever you want to call them. 11 science and 11 reputation. Good on us. Okay, now we need to take this same craft. We need to put it in this other magenta orbit. And if we look carefully enough, we can see that there's like a little thing here that's highlighting it. And so it's going in this direction. Now that's a problem because I'm going in this direction. So I literally got to turn the craft around, essentially. So right about... right about here, where that X is, gonna add a maneuver, and you want to do it where the orbits cross. That's where you want to do your maneuvers if you're trying to reach a different orbit, right? And so now I literally need to turn this sucker around. You see that DN, that's descending node. That's basically the difference in inclination, which is the difference in angle that it is orbiting. So I want this apoapsis to be at that descending node. Whoops. Fine movements with your mouse. You can also use the mouse wheel to fine-tune this. I'm pretty much at that point. Right, and so now we have an intersecting of the orbits. And so once they intersect, then I can change the direction again to match orbits. So it'll be 2 burns here. Alright, and so that burn will happen in an hour. We need to be facing this direction. You want to try and do as many direction changes in one maneuver as possible, because it's more efficient than if you changed one and then changed the other. It's like when you're on a triangle, it's like instead of taking the hypotenuse to the end, you're taking the long way around, going around the angles. It's not what you want to do. Okay, so it's going to take 819 meters per second. I have 3,000, so we ought to be able to make this happen. Where's the moon? There it is. There's the beautiful moon, M-U-N, moon. All right, so we'll go back to watching this stuff here. Now we can go ahead and observe Mystery Goo, and we'll keep it this time. Yes, and we can even, and log pressure data and keep it. So we'll get that extra science when we return it to Kerbin. Log temperature, there we go. Alright, and we'll just fast forward, time warp to our maneuver, which is in about an hour and 19 minutes. Oh boy. See, you got to be careful. In fact, I'm going to F5 to quick save so that if I go past my maneuver, I can revert back and try again. You got... Ooh. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So we got 50 seconds. Alright. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Burn. And it's a 27 seconds burn. Remember, we're changing directions, which you would never do in real life. That would be horrible. You want to stick on the blue reticule here. That's what you're aiming for. That's your target. Okay, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Done. Okay, I think we went a little bit far. We overshot just a wee bit. So we're going to go to where it shows the target, and we're just going to burn softly. Try and chase that maneuver node until it's there. And I think that's pretty good. Why can't I X out of it? There we go. Alright, so now we're pretty close to intersecting here. So at the ascending node, we're going to add another maneuver. Okay, and this time we want to try and match the orbits now that we're intersecting the orbit. So we're going to go anti-normal here. Like actually, for us, it would be, this is anti-normal. And then at the same time, we need to slow her down. Yeah, keep slowing her down. And there's also going to be some radial. Bingo, right there. Okay, we still need more anti-normal. Just walk it in slow. You get this right, and you can just do it in one fell swoop. I'm making it look easier than it really is, I think. So I've done this too many times. Okay. So that is pretty darn close to where you want to be. So if we do that, we'll meet the contract parameters. All right, so that's a 194 meter per second change of direction, or delta V. Delta just means change in math, and V is for velocity, so change in velocity is really what that means. Delta V. Okay, and so we have 2620 delta V, and we're going to spend 194 of it, so we have plenty delta V. Okay, so we're just going to point at our maneuver node and warp, and it's about an hour to our maneuver. So we got to go around the moon here, and actually we're going around in the other direction. I forgot we switched directions. Let's see if we can do it anyway, though. Okay. Let's go over to here and see if we can maybe fix this up a little bit. We're about 7 meters per second. And timing does matter in doing these kinds of things. It really does. Okay. It's as good as I'm going to get it, but we got the contract. Okay, thank you. Did we? Yep, and we just needed to maintain stability for long enough, and we did. And so we got another 140,000 space bucks, 16 extra science, and 13. Yay! We did it. Okay. So now, our next contract is return to Kerbin from a flyby of the moon, which is what we are doing right now, technically. We're orbiting the moon, not just flying by it. Transmit or recover scientific data from space. Yeah, so okay. So we'll get that done too. Alright. So, we want to go back to Kerbin. Now, we're orbiting in this pattern here, so we want to basically shoot off here to make that go that way. Alright, so I'm just going to go to the direction of travel, which is right now this way. It's a little bit inefficient, but it's better than honestly waiting. And we'll go to there. And so now we'll escape the moon, make it back into Corbin's sphere of influence, and then you see here, this is going to be what our, from this point on, we'll be orbiting this way. And actually, it's not helpful for us, but we will, once we get to here, so about here, add maneuver, we will reduce our, we'll just get back into orbit apparently. But it's okay. And so we want that periapsis there to get to about 40. Well, maybe 30 kilometers. Oh. '63, '62, '61, '60, '59, '58, '57, '56, '55, '54. We want that to be about 30. So it's at 40 now. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. So if we perform that maneuver in about 3 hours, we will make it right back into Kerbin's atmosphere. And, yeah. So now I'm going to have it warp to there. So I watch us say goodbye to the moon. Bye-bye, moon. And we will make it back to Kerbin here. Alright. So, we are back in Kerbin, yeah. So, let's go ahead and observe mystery goo, and we'll recover some science from that, and that'll get us this one once we land. Okay, so we're going to F5. We've got 22 minutes to our maneuver, so we're going to time warp up a little bit. 19, 18, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 1. Alright, 16 seconds. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Burning for another 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So we didn't quite do it, so we'll just chase that maneuver a little bit with this lower thrust. So our periaps comes down to 30. Okay, we did it a little bit too much, so we're going to switch directions and we're going to undo some of what we did. Okay. 30,000 periaps. Okay, let me look at this question. How do you know those calculations? I don't even know why you're counting half the time, LOL. Okay. So I'm looking at the different numbers on the screen here. So if I have a maneuver node, add a maneuver, I have various different numbers that are telling me what I'm looking at. So I have an apoapsis, which is the highest point of orbit. You have the periapsis, which is the lowest point of the orbit. And you also have those noted out here. So I'm looking over here in this corner here. Then you also have down here in this little corner here of the nav ball, You have the node in T minus 1 day, 3 hours, 2 minutes. Burn time is 3 seconds for this particular burn. And then you start the burn in 1 day, 3 hours. Because it's 3 seconds, you want to, so if I really made this a big burn, so let's make it a big burn, okay? And so it's now a 16-second burn time. I want to burn for 8 seconds before the maneuver node and 8 seconds after the maneuver node, so that the overall effect is averaged out to be the maneuver node. Because as you burn and change direction, that affects the orbit. Timing is everything when it comes to orbital mechanics. So that makes it to where you average the force out in one direction. Otherwise, you're going to have to constantly change the direction that you are burning, and that's much more difficult than just pointing in one direction and burning on average this way and then on average back that way. If that makes any kind of sense. So I'll try and be more explicit about what I'm looking at when I count. Sometimes if I'm not just quick about it, I'm going to miss it, and so forgive me if I'm going a little bit quick for you. Okay, and so if we're looking at this map view, you see these green lines here. Those go back to, those are basically the comm lines. So if they're green, that means they've got a good, strong signal. If they're yellow, that means it's a weak signal. And if it's red, that means that it doesn't have a good signal. It's too far away. If they're non-existent, it means you're not connected at all. And so with a probe, because there's no Kerbals on here, it's uncrewed. So it's just a computer that's controlling this, essentially. Without connection back to the planet, you can't control it. That's how the game works, at least. In real life, how that would work is you would program the computer to perform the maneuver at the right time, and the computer would automatically do it on its own. And there is a mod to do that in Kerbal Space Program. I am not nearly good enough. I don't know coding whatsoever, and you have to actually know coding in order for that to work. Alright, so we're just about to hit apoapsis, and we're back in the influence of the moon here, but we are just flying by. Oh, I went too fast. So we are now re-entering the atmosphere. Oh well. It's what we wanted. Warped too much. I'm going to use the rest of my fuel here to help slow down. And there's really going to be no heat because I had enough fuel in there to actually slow my spacecraft down substantially, so that's fine. Yeah, we'll keep the SAS on for now. So when I'm looking down at my staging over here, that yellow means that it's kind of dangerous to open the parachute. I'm going to wait till that turns white, and then I'll stage to open the parachute. And the 4 times is as fast as you can go while you're in the atmosphere, because it's actually a physics speed, where in space, when you're going 1,000 times time warp, it locks everything up, so it's not actually moving. It's not calculating the physics of it. It's just moving it. Alright, so we're kind of re-entering a little bit here. And max Q usually happens around 20 kilometers. We're at 30 kilometers right now. But it's still not going to heat up enough to even really ablate. If we look at our ablator here, that's how much of the stuff that the heat shield is made of. It's designed to melt away, and in doing so, it takes that heat energy with it. This is real life stuff, and as you see, I didn't even use one of my 200 points of ablator. So that rocket slowing us down was all we really needed. And now it's safe, and about 10 kilometers rather. Now I'm at 8. We're falling kind of rapidly. I'll turn my SAS off, which is my stability control essentially. And we'll let physics do the rest until we splash down. Okay, at 1 kilometer, we open up our parachute, and we're descending at about 5 meters per second, which is nice and slow. Relatively speaking, at least. Alright, 100 meters to go. 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40. Slow down the warp. 20, 10 meters. Splash down. Alright, and then we'll recover the vessel. Mission complete. Now let's see if we got all of our contracts the way I think we did. So we got 62 science off of that. Now we got more science because we earned science also for the contracts that we completed. Alright, and now we're rolling in the funds. Now if we go down here, we got that contract as well. So did we miss a contract? Any active contracts? Nope, we used all of our contracts. Explore Kerbin. We need to test our rendezvous capabilities. Park 2 vessels next to each other around Kerbin. Alright. What could possibly go wrong? So that means we want to have 2 vessels meet in orbit. We want to basically begin docking. And you could do these position satellite missions all day and they'll keep on giving them to you. Alright. There's a good way to earn science and money. I don't need money, honestly. I just want science. Speaking of which, let us go. So with this propulsion system, this will be great for satellites because it gives us miniaturization of a lot of stuff. But let's see what else we have. Let's see if there's something else that's better. So this would give us a smaller stacked separator, which would also be good, and a docking port, junior. This would give us, yeah, no, definitely not that. This would give us a bigger reaction wheel, and it would give us thrusters. So these are the thrusters that we were talking about earlier. And you have different, in this game, in real life, it's actually, they're called RCS, which is a reaction control system. Because you combine the reaction wheels with the thrusters to have a reaction control system to basically control which way you're pointing your vessel. Yeah, so we get some more command pods there as well, and bigger monopropellant. Monopropellant is just a type of fuel, and that's the type of fuel that you use for your thrusters, which is separate from the type of fuel that you use for your rockets. It's less efficient, but it's more stable, and that's why they use it. Because you can keep it. Liquid oxygen, liquid hydrogen, it will tend to burn off if it stays too long. So it's really efficient, but after a while you literally lose your fuel because it evaporates and becomes unusable. So that's the lander can. So I don't know, that'll be good to get, but I don't think we're ready for it yet. Don't need that yet. Oh, okay, this gives us our fairings, which would be nice. So that's one that would be pretty attractive. We only have 13, so we don't have enough but for one. I think my goal is to, I want to send a probe out to Duna, which is the Mars analog in this system. I think we'll get a lot of science for doing that. And really what I need for that to work is I probably need a bigger comms system. Yeah, so that's the last antenna I got. So I need to figure out where's the next one. There it is, right there. It's a relay antenna and a communicatron. You also get a new probidobidine HECS, which just has, it'll lock on not only on stability control, but you can go prograde and retrograde, which are helpful. It just makes it's just a quality of life improvement, really. That. Okay. So if that's what I want, oh, my family's home with my lunch. Then I need to do this. It's not really. But if that's what I'm driving for, then I'm gonna need 90 plus 90 plus 160. So that's 180. 18 plus 16. That's 33. I don't know, 32. 34. So 340 science total. That's what I'm gonna need. I think this will help me for now. I'm going to need that anyway, so. Alright. And then the next two I'm going to get are going to be this miniaturization and then this precision engineering. So that's 16. So that'd be 33. 330. That's my science goals, 330. Okay, so let's see if we can maximize... Oh, from the surface of the moon. That's the next thing we could do. And we could also go to Minmus and get some good science from there as well. Yeah, I guess we could go for landing on the moon before we go to Duna. Doesn't give us nearly as much science as you'd want. Rescue Sally from the orbit of Kerbin. Yeah, I think we're going to do a probe. Science data from the surface of the moon. We might as well get that because we're going to go to the surface of the moon. I think actually we're going to do a different mission first. So the first mission we're going to do is we're going to send something to Minmus. And we're going to land on Minmus. We're going to get science for all of that stuff and bring it all the way back to Kerbin. And then we're going to go to the moon and we're going to land on the moon. I don't know if that mission's going to come back to Kerbin or not. And then we'll start focusing. By that time, we can focus on trying to get to Duna. That being said, because the family is home and I am hungry, I'm going to sign off on this one. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see y'all later.